welcome back to my channel. My name's Cheyenne and today I'm coming at you with the next video in my college series. Today's video is going to be all about advice for incoming college freshmen. If you haven't seen the first video in this series, be sure to go check it out. It's all about what to bring to college. I'll have it linked down below for you. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm going to be a senior at the University of Kansas. I'm studying biology on a pre-veterinary medicine track, and I'm on my way to applying to vet school. Alright, so let's go ahead and just jump right into the video. Alright, so my first piece of advice is to get involved. This is something that I wish I had done a lot more as a freshman, and I did make up for it my sophomore year of college, but freshman year was especially difficult for me because I didn't get involved with a lot of organizations. Getting involved in things, especially as a freshman, is a great way to make new friends. I know personally my freshman year was a little bit harder to navigate, and I think that had a lot to do with the fact that I wasn't getting involved with a lot of organizations, and subsequently I wasn't making as many friendships as I could have. But I did fix this my sophomore year when I joined my sorority volunteer service organization. It's called Omega Phi Alpha, and it's a service sorority. It was definitely one of the best decisions that I've made since coming to college. It takes up so much of my time now, but I'm so thankful for this organization and just the people that I've met through it. So if you can get involved in a bunch of organizations freshman year, I would definitely recommend. With that being said, make sure you're joining organizations that you're actually passionate about and that you actually care about, because otherwise you're just not going to be motivated to go to the meetings, you're not going to be motivated to be involved, and that's the whole point of joining organizations. You want to be involved and meet people who have the same interests as you. So my next piece of advice is to try and establish a healthy routine from the jump. Now I know coming into college as a freshman, it's hard. There's so many new things around. You've got an unlimited dining plan and there's lots of ice cream and fried foods at the dining hall. But trust me, you'll thank yourself later if you establish a healthy routine from the jump. Make sure you use the rec center that you're paying for. Make sure that you're making healthy choices regarding what food you eat. And you know, obviously it's okay to still go out and have fun and get dinner with friends, but just make sure that you're doing things in moderation and that you're trying to establish a healthy routine from the beginning, because doing so will just make it that much easier down the line to continue those healthy habits. So my next piece of advice is geared more towards friendships, and it's that it's alright if you lose touch with friends from high school or if you drift apart a little bit. You know, going off to college, especially if you're not going to the same school as your high school friends, it's inevitable that there will be some distance and that you will grow apart. That's okay. For me personally, this just kind of showed me what friendships were really valuable to me and which ones weren't. And the same goes for those people, you know, if you're important enough for them to make you a priority, then they will. And if you're not, then they won't, and that's okay. So I know it sucks at first. It's never easy drifting apart or losing friends, but the people who actually matter the most to you and the people who are going to stay in your life consistently, those people you will be able to make it work out with. And the people that you can't make it work out with, let them go. Alright, so the next thing I have to say is don't be afraid to ask for help, especially regarding your classes. So if there's any classes that you're struggling with, that you're just not understanding the material, ask for help. And don't be afraid. You have the professors, the teaching assistants, office hours, all of these resources are available to you and you're paying for them, so you might as well utilize them. I actually worked as a TA for 3 semesters. I'm coming up on my 4th semester, I think. And it was just amazing to me. Me and the other TAs would talk about this a lot. As a TA, we saw their grades and we saw how our students were doing in the classes. But a lot of times, nobody came to our office hours. We would be lucky if there was one person who came throughout the whole semester. And it's always been like that. You know, we have these office hours set aside and we're getting paid to sit there and help you, but nobody wants to come to them. I think I had one student, maybe one semester, that came consistently to my office hours every week, and he did fantastic in the class. Not to try and hype myself up, but that's what happens when you go and you ask for help. And so following up on the idea of utilizing all the resources available to you, I know at least at my school we have, in addition to like office hours and teaching assistants, we have things like tutoring groups that you can get into, buses that shuttle you around campus, and just like campus activities in general. All of these things are often included in what you're paying for, so you might as well go and use them. And then continuing on off of the idea of asking for help, this isn't just limited to classes and schoolwork. I know a lot of schools have counseling and psychological services, at least I know KU does, and it's good to know that these resources are available. Especially when you're just entering college, it's a big transition, there's a lot that's going to change, a lot that you're going to have to deal with. And, you know, sometimes you won't be able to handle everything on your own, and that's okay. At the end of the day, it's important that you take care of your mental health. So if you ever find yourself struggling emotionally, mentally, just know that there are options available to you. Okay, so my next piece of advice is that it's okay if you don't know exactly what you want to do yet. You know, a lot of people come into college not knowing what they want to major in, what they want to do after they graduate, and that's okay. College is a time for you to explore and to figure out what you like and what you don't like. There are even some people like me who came into college thinking that they knew what they wanted to do and then ended up switching majors, and that happens a lot. It's okay. Don't be scared if you want to change your major. Don't be scared if you don't know what you want to major in yet. That's all right. I personally came into KU as a psychology major. I thought I wanted to be like a high school counselor or something like that. And after just my first semester, I hadn't even gotten into my core psychology classes. I knew that it wasn't for me. But luckily, I was able to find the path that was right for me, which was biology and veterinary medicine. So just know that even if you switch paths, it's okay. Everything's gonna work out. Even if you don't graduate in 4 years, that's okay. What matters is finding something that you're passionate about and something that you will want to continue doing for a long time. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is studying. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, studying was pretty much a breeze for me. I would study maybe a day or two in advance and ace most of my tests, except for calculus. IB calculus was not good. But aside from that, I didn't have to study extensively in order to get good grades on my exams. Now let me tell you, I went to a college prep school and I was able to do that. But coming into college, the transition was still a little bit different. Sure, in your first initial classes, they might be easy and you might be able to do that. But once you get up into those higher level core classes, for example, I took OChem, I had to start studying a week, maybe 2 weeks in advance if I wanted to even do decently on those exams. So just know that, yes, sometimes you might be able to get by with studying just a couple days in advance, but a lot of times you're going to have to adjust your study habits. In general, it's always a good idea anyways to start studying as soon as you can. So yeah, just know that it might not always be as easy as you think it is. But obviously it just depends on what classes you're taking, depends on how easy that subject is to you. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but just know that you might need to start studying sooner than you thought. Okay, so my next piece of advice is try not to worry so much about what other people think. And I know this is hard. It's obviously something that's easier said than done, but at the end of the day, what matters most is that you are happy. Obviously, our professors and our loved ones are there to help us and guide us, and I'm not saying just completely ignore what everyone else has to say, but college is a time for you to grow and become an adult and to start learning how to make your own choices. So, you know, what you want to do and what you think is best might not always align with what other people think, and that's okay, because what matters is making you happy. So my final piece of advice is that it is okay if your freshman year isn't as awesome as you thought it would be or as everyone makes it out to be. In general, things get overhyped a lot anyways, so it's always good to just keep that in mind. But I know I personally, at the end of my freshman year, I wasn't crazy about it, and this kind of goes back to what I said earlier about getting involved and stuff, and obviously that was my own fault for not putting myself out there as much as I should have. But yeah, I was feeling a little bit discouraged after my freshman year, but obviously I stuck it out. College is important to me and I definitely want to graduate. So I went back my sophomore year and I tried to adjust. I tried to make changes so that I could have a more enjoyable college experience. And I can say that my time here at KU has definitely improved significantly since. So, you know, if you end your freshman year and you're feeling a little, I don't know, unsatisfied or unhappy with how your year went, that's okay. Life isn't always as perfect as we want it to be or as we expect it to be, and it's all a learning experience. So if there were things that happened your freshman year that you didn't like, try and adjust and just correct for that your next year. Do whatever you can to make yourself happy, and don't worry so much that you didn't have the most amazing time freshman year. It'll get better, I promise. Okay friends, well that is all of the advice that I could come up with. Let me know down below if you have some tips or advice that you'd like to share with other freshmen or just college students in general. I would love to hear it, and I'm sure everyone else would too. But yeah, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what other types of things you would like to see. But yeah, that's it for now, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!